pen. All right, so same thing as always, what we do on the monthly, right? Now, the second day of the month, you can see we're below the previous month's close, which is 53.08. Like we talked about, if we do get closes below that level, there is increasing chances of liquidation. And we're kind of seeing that a little bit right now. As you can see, 52.55, the current price. Still inside the previous month's range. Previous month's open was 50.105 quarter, so pretty decent ways away. Switching over here to the weekly, like I said, this is going to be probably the best chance they've had in a while to get a cessation of one time framing on a weekly basis. The low for this week, well, as of yesterday, 82 quarter, but you can see we're going to be opening up on a gap. The low from last week is 52.63, so cessation complete. So now it'll be key to pay attention really to that level, that 52.63. If buyers can't reclaim that level today, then it should basically just be no longs today. You should get a sell off, and probably, if I had to guess, it would be down to this trend line. Well, it's actually already there. It's at the trend line. Yeah. So it really is it's going to be pretty clear on what to do after the open, I imagine. Switching over here to the daily, you can see the market got a cessation of one time framing yesterday, has formed back into this balance, the low of this balance, that 42.62 area. So we're going to be opening below it by about 10 points. Next level that we have is that 52.41 area. You can see there's a little bit of an equilibrium there. You've got this open, this close, this high, this open, this open, this close, kind of all right in that area, that 52.41 area. So you imagine that that's going to be a pretty decent area to trade from, and you're kind of looking at, a possible, this is a balance, right? This is a balance. So we're breaking down, and you're going to get the check back into this balance. If buyers don't show up here, then we kind of assume that we're going to rotate down to that 41.80, right? Longer term, obviously, but that's just something to pay attention to, right? As the time continues. Switching over here to the profiles, a little bit of review from yesterday, right? You can see for the most part, market opened up. It did trade a little bit higher. From there, it liquidated by one time framing down pretty much until what's this G period, leaving behind single prints a bunch, and trying to find higher acceptance on the close, unable to, coming down to form that B shape. So pretty decisive liquidation yesterday. Market opened up in the overnight, and you can see for the most part traded sideways this morning. Before news came out, started to break. After news came out, continued to break. And now you can see we're trading down 52.43. So on a gap. Remember, gap rules are going to be in play. And you can see the previous caught TPOC, VPOC, and the T1 caught low are all right here, because that's where the move started off. So this level is an impulse level, and it's also a big level. So if sellers can keep the momentum going this morning, there is a good chance that that's the area to visit. And oops, and that might be, it might actually be a decent long. So there might be some opportunity there from like here, maybe from that caught VPOC. But until then, I think you get this continuation, and you're going to be looking short to target this level. Otherwise, you want to look at this area as no longs until we break into the previous day's range, right? Yeah, unless from lower, or unless there's a big rejection right here, off of the 44. Because that 44 is that equilibrium level, so there could be a big rejection off of that level, but until then it kind of looks like we'll probably trade to below the cot. So you're going to want to be selling rallies. So what happens is it'll get a little bit of a bounce, and then people will be like, "Oh, this is it. It's going to go," and then it'll just keep dumping. Right? It's a big gap, a lot of inventory off sides right here. So you're going to have to let them liquidate until you stop seeing liquidation, and that would look like a poor low that develops early, or a mechanical reference, like maybe exactly off of this previous low, off this VPOC. That would be a nice mechanical reference, but we'll kind of have to wait and see until the market opens. Do we have news today? Yeah, we've got some jolts at 10. So uh, maybe even some more action getting started here as the days go on. I'm just going to post these in here. Should I, or should I just post them in the futures? I'll just post them in here because it's for easier to know that it's there. But yeah, that's pretty much my plan for today. If the ES opens and kind of dies, I'm gonna be taking a peek at some bond positions maybe, because there is looking like there's some selling opportunity in there, and maybe even in the Dow too. The Dow looks pretty weak. Um, but yeah, other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you're managing risk and sticking to your trade